Welcome to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam, to ETHDam.
Hello and welcome to Amsterdam and ETHDam. Good morning. Welcome to the first workshop of the day. I'm Vanshika. I work with Gnosis and today I'm representing Circles and I'm going to be talking about how you can build with Circles some very interesting public goods application. Um, just to get a little bit of overview, how many of you might have attended Circles workshop in past or like the one that we did online on 5th of May? Anyone who was part of it? Okay, Joera was there and you. Okay, perfect. So we did cover a bunch of theoretical concepts in that workshop, but today I will give you a little bit more rundown and more technical aspect of it. And if you still have any confusions on the protocol side, then you can definitely reach out to us on the booth. So yeah, let's just get into it. What is Circles? Right? Circles is a new form of money system where each user can create their own currency and operate independently of any centralized institution. That's the theoretical term. Just to simplify the whole thing, we know what money is, right? You can use the money to exchange for goods and services. Now, if we had to reimagine this money in a decentralized, well, the way currently crypto is right now, right? So what if we could use this sort of money concept and kind of have this where we don't have third party intermediaries, no government control exactly, and right, like no bank institutions. So that is sort of the idea of Circles. And today we invite builders to rethink about money for the decentralized world and build on this. So, who can basically create a Circles account? How can you start issuing your own money? Well, everyone can start creating their own currency, but it's a decision of whose money you would be accepting. So, there's a very important concept of Circles protocol in itself, that how are we going to kind of protect Sybil accounts, right? So, basically, if you have to invite someone, basically you have to like accept someone's money, you would have to trust them. So it's a decision based on some person who is actually already part of Circles money system. So let's say today I am a Circles user and I know a bunch of people who are sitting here and I want them to accept my CRC. So I will invite them to join the Circles network. And when I trust them, I basically tell them that, hey, you can now accept my token and I will accept yours if there's a mutual trust connection between us. So there is the intermediarily, there's like the concept of trust connection or web of trust, I would say, which makes it very decentralized. So based on trust connections and based on the people that you really know, you trust them. So until unless you do not have a trust connection, basically you cannot accept anyone's CRC. So this kind of excludes the Sybil accounts in this whole process, because why would you ever trust a Sybil account, right? And you only trust the people that you exactly know. So what's the three core rules of Circles? First, CRC issuance. So CRC is basically like the short form of Circles. Okay, we are saying that this Circles token can be created by everyone. So we have fixed a rate of 1 CRC per hour, which means 24 CRC day can be minted by everyone. And then there's a 7% demurrage. To kind of like give it a real world view to this, we have 7% annual demurrage, which means that all of your balances all over the year, it will decrease by 7% so that you can spend and circulate the CRC money rather than keeping it in your pocket. So that is to just motivate you that if you are keeping the money and just like how inflation works, this is supposed to like give your CRC money a little bit more value in the real world. And then there's a selective trust system. So basically, you can control whose CRC you would like to accept based on the trust. So that's three core values of Circles protocol. Now, let's talk about bounties, right? So we are doing 5 bounties, 5 tracks basically. The first one obviously is an open track. Any application, any product that is built with Circles SDK and has a really great use case, something that does not falls in the next 4 tracks, feel free to go ahead and apply for this track if you have a really nice idea about how you can bring CRC to the real world. But apart from this one, we have 4 more tracks. So a community-focused apps that you can build using groups accounts. I will be talking about different kind of accounts because I know a bunch of you might have not attended the previous workshop, and this will give you a bit more overview of how these circles, communities, and groups can basically utilize the idea of decentralized, like DAOs and group-based apps. Then obviously third one, social platform. So the idea behind this track is that you can utilize the web of trust connections and build like really small or like mini dApps for Telegram or really nice social identity focused applications. So bunch of ideas around social networking side of things. And then we have AI agents and Circles SDK. So there are a lot of open source AI agents tool. I think Eliza is one of the famous ones, and you can easily integrate with Circles SDK because that's also a TypeScript toolkit, and you can build out either like a trading bot, something to do with CRC, or you can also have some kind of social agent that lets you, like pay other agents. So yeah, $2,000 split between 2 projects. And then last, but I think one of the most important ones is making marketplace applications. Basically, you design a service of your own, and then you consider that service to accept CRC as a payment tool. So let's say if someone in the room wants to run a business, you can actually utilize organization accounts and accept payments from a bunch of people in form of CRC. So yeah, let's get into the technical side of things. So one of the important things to remember is that we will be using Sandbox version for our workshop, the session ideas and whatever you're building. Because Circles, by default, as I mentioned, to kind of build on top of the production environment, you would need real trust connections. And I know developers need a little bit more sort of, things here and there. So we created rings, which is again on Gnosis chain mainnet. So it works completely fine on the mainnet. And what we have given here for the Sandbox environment is that when you join the network, as a developer, when you join the network, you would get a 200 CRC bonus right away as soon as you join. So you can utilize this 200 CRC in different way. You can utilize it for inviting people, or you can just check how you can pay CRC. So do a bunch of things with this 200 CRC. But at the same time, for the next 48 hours and more than that actually, you will be minting 24 CRC a day. So by the end of today, let's say, or tomorrow, you will have about 224 CRC, but with a little bit of less value when there's a 7% demurrage applied to that. So kind of like spend your CRC when you have it, right? Then obviously we have an invitation fees of 0.1 CRC. This is given with the idea of how the real world Circles protocol works. So by default, on the actual production version, we have invitation fees of 96 CRC and a bonus of 48 CRC. So to kind of curb that whole thing, you also have an invitation fees here for 0.1 CRC. So if you're building an application and you want to apply invitation fees for everyone, you can do that. But if you want to self-invite yourself, if you're a solo hacker, then you can also just do a 0x0 address and just self-invite yourself there. So, okay, time to talk about SDK. We have the TypeScript SDK. This is the main core Circles SDK that has all the functions and everything that you need, but we also have some important dependency packages. So we would be using adapter ethers. If you want to do things with a private key or browser provider, then you should definitely have the adapter ethers. But if you want to build something with a safe wallet and do safe transactions, then you can also install the safe adapter in itself. And then we have 3 more helper sort of packages that you should definitely install for data, profiles, and utils. Yeah. Okay. Time to talk about Circles profiles. So in the most simplest way, why we need profiles is because we want to search these people, right? We want to kind of see how I can invite someone, and just having their Circles address does not make sense. So I want to make this whole experience a more Web 2-ish experience. So we created profiles, which is basically stored on IPFS, and it's particularly a metadata. So every profile has its own unique CID, the content identifier, which basically serves as a reference point for us for this specific profile data. By default, name is super important, so that I can search everyone with the name, right? So name is super important, but then you can also have other objects like description and profile image, location, and even geolocation. So you can kind of customize the profiles based on what tool you are building. And we have profiles for humans, groups, and organization, all these three. Oops. So as I was talking about different type of avatar accounts that exist. So based on the product that you're planning to build, or basically whatever you're hacking on, and whatever your use case is, you might want to see which avatar account fits the best. And to just give an overview, human accounts are basically capable of doing three most important things. Number one, invite someone. Number two, they can mint their own personal tokens, which is when you create your own CRC. So if you have to check out how am I able to like create my own CRC, you should definitely sign up first as a human account, get the understanding of how this works, and then you can pick group account or an organization account based on your needs. And then the third one is you can transfer your CRC to the people who actually trust you and accept your tokens. Then the other two accounts are much more focused accounts based on the need. So groups accounts or groups avatars are basically super important for the teams who are building around communities and groups and DAOs. And the idea of group accounts is basically very simple. Let's say I'm a group owner, right, of ETHDam group, and I want to invite a bunch of you people who have, who are part of the workshop. And what I will do simply is, first of all, you need to be already a human avatar or human account so that I can search you up and I can basically invite to the group itself. So you should already be a human and you should already have your own personal CRC. And when I invite you to the group account, you can basically mint group tokens. And these group tokens can basically unlock certain offers or services. For example, let's say if you had to buy this really cool ETHDam hoodie, you can use group CRC tokens to buy that thing, right? So what happens here is you use your personal CRC as a collateral, and against that collateral, you mint your group tokens. And when your trust is sort of revoked, or when you decide that, okay, I don't want to be a part of this group, your personal CRC gets back to you, and then your group token is basically gone. So that is the idea of groups account, that we invite communities and bunch of groups to kind of create their own sort of services there. Now, organization accounts might seem to be a really huge thing, but it's a bit more simpler than group accounts. What happens in organization accounts is basically there is no minting involved at all. It's like a business. So as a business, what you would do is accept payments, right? So if you just had to accept payments and you do not want to give any sort of offer, or you don't think you need a group for a specifically close group of people, then you can go with organization accounts and accept CRC payments again. In that case, what you have to do is that you have to trust those people from whom you want to accept their tokens as payment. And that's all. There is no minting involved, and there is no redemption of your personal tokens. You just use your CRC to pay the things. Let's do a small demo of these accounts. Right now, I am on app.about Circles. So to create your account, if you're thinking you have to initialize SDK and everything, we have abstracted all of that, and we give you this really cool application, which is Sandbox version, but also builder focused application. So you can just toggle the rings mode actually here, and you can choose how you want to create your account. So let's say I want to use my MetaMask, right? And I'll simply choose this MetaMask account, and I have this connected wallet now. So I see two things there. I see my groups and I see register. So as soon as you click on register, there will be this sort of pop-up, and we do not want to touch the advanced section. We are just going to play around with the human and organization and groups. So for human, as you see, it says you need to be invited by someone who is already using Circles. So let's register ourselves as person here. So by default, as I mentioned, we have the 0x0 account, it's a zero address account. We'll just, this is prior selected. So I will just put my name here, Vanshika, and I do not want to add any description, but I want to add location. So let's add Amsterdam here. And I could add my image if I want to. So let's just put this. Right. And then I will just do create. So, I think, wait. There might be some small issues with my MetaMask as usual. I will try to get... So you can also use faucet, by the way, the Gnosis faucet, to kind of get your extra tokens, because you still need a bit of gas fees to like do these transactions. So make sure that you have that. Okay, let's try this now once again. Okay. So this will create a profile, and this will also log me into the the Circles, basically onboard me to the Circles protocol. So now you see I have 200 CRC, which is the bonus. And now I can invite people, and every time an hour goes by, right? Or like, let's say a few minutes have passed, I will see mint some 0.5 or 0.8 or 1 CRC after 1 hour has passed, and I can mint my group tokens. So at some point you will see this becoming 200 some Circles token. So for example, I have this very old account of mine, which is again a dev Sandbox version, and I have about 335 Circles to mint here, because this account has not been open for about 300 hours or something, and all of this has accumulated together, so now I can mint this much and my total balance will change. But also the funny thing is that if you see 187 days ago I had 200 CRC, and now it's only worth as 192.66 Circles, which is because of the demerge. So make sure you spend your CRC, right? So this is your human account. You can simply log in and join as a human being here. Now, let's talk about groups. So we have this really nice groups also. So again, for creation of your own groups, you can just use the application directly and create your group and then build your actual application around it, right? So I can just put the name as, let's say, ETHDam. And I'll put a symbol. So one of the important things to remember for groups profile is that symbol is mandatory. You cannot leave out symbols, because that is how your group CRC token is defined. So I will just put DAM as my symbol token, and I can leave the group image and description for later on, which I can update. And let's try to register this. It's taking some time. Cool. But meanwhile, yeah, this will basically create your group. Let's try to see if I already have an existing group so that I can show you. Okay, it's still stuck on the loading. But yeah, you can create group. Maybe at some point it will work. But yes, you can create this group simply from here. And now for the organization account, so you need a new address for each and every account, but your groups can be created with same wallet address. And why is that so? Because our groups are basically using proxy address. Basically, they are proxy contracts, which means if you already have a human account with an wallet address, you could still utilize that wallet address to generate multiple groups, or you could use Safe, which is like the best option there to work with the groups. So that's about the accounts. Register, and you can just start working with them as you need. Now, talking about the groups, what are groups capable of? So we also want to introduce the idea of the membership condition. Let's say everyone in this room has some sort of NFT or POAP. So I want to add a membership condition that whosoever has a POAP can become part of this group. So I don't want to trust anyone randomly, and I also do not want to just simply accept anyone's token. So I create this membership condition that to be a part of this group, you have to have this POAP, and then I will trust you, and then you can start minting the group tokens. So we also have the membership conditions that you can basically define and register short names for your group, which happens with the name registry contract. Now we can also trust batch with conditions, which means that let's say you had 10 accounts and you think that everyone suffices the conditions, so you can just trust batch everyone in the group itself. In app.about-circles, actually, you can use Excel sheet of addresses, also like bunch of other addresses, like from your contact list, and just do a batch call for trusting them. And let's say you want to support some sort of fee. So you're a group and you think that I also would like to charge a fee of 1 CRC every single time, someone does certain things in the groups, then you can also collect fees. By default, your fee collection address is your group address, but you can also change that to a different wallet address if you want to create some sort of separate fee treasury as well. So let's talk about Trust Graph, which is a very interesting thing, actually. So this is sort of our own production explorer. So if you have a production account, you can basically search here. And I have Vanshika Shrivastava, which is like the my own Circles account, my main Circles account. And what I have here is very interesting, right? This is the social graph that I have right now. So you see a bunch of people in my circles, in the circle of trust connection. So I see a bunch of groups, and I also see bunch of these people. So this is what I was talking about when I say that there's a web of trust, right? Your trust connections are very important here, because if you have the right connections, then you can send your CRC tokens, but also kind of make sure that you're not trusting any Sybil accounts as well. So this is how the trust graph works. And based on this trust graph, you can derive a bunch of data as well. You can check if there's a transitive transfer flow or not. So transitive flow is nothing but let's say I'm not in touch with a person, but there is my friend who is in touch with that person. So I can use the path of their trust connection to reach to the other person, and I don't have to worry about trusting them. Which is very simple, because if you see, you might not want to trust this mutual other person, but you have your friend who knows this, so I can just use their trust path to do this kind of transfer exactly. Okay, what else? Let's see. So creating demands for circles with offers. You could also say this is more idea focused and basically whatever things that you can build, but I also feel that this is something that will bring a lot of people to kind of actually introduce CRC on a much more broader aspect. So I have this really nice, it's gone here. Okay. So I have this really nice list of ideas, and you could utilize that to create demand for CRC. So obviously, payment and transactions is one of the most important ones here. But you can create bot or something. So you can pay CRC for Discord, Telegram, Farcaster bot. Frames are very interesting. People could actually create Farcaster frames, and every time you see your favorite creator, you could pay CRC to them, and really help them out with their content creation that they're doing. Then we have community subscription. So we have seen in the past there have been some really good products around community subscriptions, right? Let's say you want to make a community of people who kind of share crypto content, and you want to tip them, or you want to also buy that subscription. You can do that with CRC. And then buy alpaca socks or some kind of goods as well. Then we have the AI and Web3 services. So I think one of the very cool thing is if your AI agents could make payments with CRC. So maybe integrating that with your AI agent track, or running some kind of service via, let's say, Gnosis node, something like that. You could use CRC for just, having this sort of selling with the CRC point. And then we have some gaming and experiments. So raffles, lotteries, some kind of vending machine, pump.fun inspired thing that could happen with the CRC. You could also buy NFTs with CRC, right? And then we have the forum and community initiative. So providing some kind of forum rewards or some kind of points, some kind of marketplace thing. So these are the sort of ideas that we think that in real world, it could be really interesting and you can integrate in the current sort of product scenarios. If you really want to play with making up real-time payment, like let's say use some kind of token, we actually have a setup for this. So if someone of you want to build something with DeFi protocol itself, like use some kind of currency, Euro E or USDC, we are happy to support that. And we have the setup, so we can guide you through that. But like right now, it's not in the exactly Circles idea, like it's not mentioned here, but we definitely have that kind of setup to integrate DeFi too. And yeah, so next steps, set up the Rings Sandbox environment to the Circles and create your profile and start with an avatar. Earlier, we used to have this really nice sort of platform called Circles Garden, which is like more legacy now. But now we have opened waitlist for our new wallet, Metri, which includes Circles and basically all these things that I've talked about, like groups and your own avatar and like kind of doing transfers. So if you're interested, you can sign up for the waitlist as well. But in the meantime, have a really good time for hacking. If you want to also look into a small code base, I have like just create a just a simple TypeScript, right? That how much time will it take for you to just set up the SDK? And it's basically few lines of code. So what basically we need here is we'll have to import the type Circles config from the Circles SDK and the SDK avatar instance, the SDK instance, so that you can like create this SDK with your adapter and configuration. And then if you're using Safe, you could also import a browser contract runner or like private key contract runner based on whichever scenario you want to do in Safe. So I will just like comment this out. Then we have the config. So I know there's like a huge set of config and how is the easiest way to kind of get this. So if you go on docs.about-circles, we have a quick start guide here, which will guide you through all the imports and everything. So make sure you read this if you are planning to integrate Circles, obviously. And we have this Ring Sandbox version of Circles mentioned here, and also like the configuration of how it would look like. So just you can copy paste this whole thing and pass the Circles configuration here. Here when you're initializing the new SDK. We also need the adapter, as I mentioned in the beginning of our workshop. So once you have the browser provider contract runner, which is basically whatever wallet you have, Rabbi wallet or MetaMask wallet, whatever wallet you have, you could just use that, initialize that, and then just pass this adapter and the Circles configuration in your SDK. And that's it. That is all you need to just initialize the SDK. For profiles creation, what is important is your name, most importantly. So just the profiles function is like sdk.profiles.create, and you pass your profile object, and this will create your avatar profile. If you had, let's say, a group, you would need a symbol here. So your token symbol is also important there. So you can just add that and your group profile will get created. So that is mostly it. Go through this. Then we also have all the things related to human avatar and accounts, like how does the creation of personal accounts happen, and how do you even find the mintable amount for, let's say, an account, right? How much tokens can I mint? So as you see, when I showed you this, it showed about, not here. Let's go back here. I probably changed my account. Well, never mind. So you can basically just find the total CRC that is available for minting, and then you can call just the personal mint sort of transaction to mint your tokens. So all you need to do is avatar.personalMint, and it will mint your personal tokens. If you want to fetch profile for a human avatar, it's a very simple, very extremely simple way to get your profiles. So avatar.getProfile will get you the account details, like avatar account details, and you can also update your profile. So let's say later onwards you decide that, okay, I want to change my profile picture, or I want to change my name or whatever, then you can just call this avatar.update profile, and this will update your profile based on whatever changes you have made. For managing trust connections, like basically how am I supposed to now trust people, what you need is their avatar address. So important thing to remember here is that if you had to trust people, they would basically need a profile, just a simple profile, or just a simple address that would be that they would like to be invited for. So let's say I have a safe address and I would like anyone in the room to invite me. So I just give you my address that, hey, you know what, just trust this safe address, which is going to be my primary account here. And then with that account, when I log in, I can accept my invitation, and then I can go about minting my tokens. So it's very simple to kind of just invite people to the trust network itself. Then this is more about groups. So again, bunch of things on groups. If you want to understand how finding groups works, or like how you can manage the group invites, you can definitely go to the docs. We also have a very small thing with the React, like a sort of a script, you would say, which has the Circles SDK context. So if you want to like set this SDK into your React application or a React Vite application, you can just simply utilize this, and then all the things are included here. So just you could utilize that with your further code base. So I think that's it. I'm also close to the time. So that's it for the Circles workshop. And if you have any questions about the protocol, about the SDK, my team members are here. You can come to the booth and let us know about your questions. If there are any questions in the room right now, I can maybe take one or two.
Thank you very much.